Hey everybody, I'm Storm Shield meteorologist Jason Myers. It is Friday, June 20th, and yesterday was 4 days in a row of really nasty weather. 10 or more tornado reports every day this week. The good news is it looks like that's more than likely coming to an end today. Yesterday was the quietest day so far this week, but again, I think we'll start to see that changing today as well. Only 13 tornado reports. Yesterday we saw upwards of 20. The days before that in the 30s, and it looks like most of those were in Minnesota, a few in South Dakota, 1 or 2 in Iowa, and 1 in Indiana. A lot of the action was actually in North Carolina and the eastern side of Virginia right there. And that was mostly wind, 118 wind reports yesterday and 41 hail reports. As far as all that severe weather, rain has actually been an issue as well. Look at this. This is over the last 7 days, and really between 6 and 10 inches of rain has fallen in parts of Iowa and southern Minnesota, and as a result, they have been dealing with a lot of flood warnings, just flood preparations these next couple of days, as rivers there are about ready to crest, and they will be well above flood stage. Why have we seen all of this? It's this upper level low we've been talking about all week long. Early in the week, it was right over Idaho, and it has slowly moved to the east-northeast through Montana and into North Dakota. And all week long, we've seen those thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, those really big, nasty thunderstorms in eastern Montana, parts of Wyoming, into the Dakotas, Nebraska, and they all eventually move through Iowa. They may not be as severe, but still seeing a lot of heavy rain there, so they have seen 6 to 8 times as much rain as what they normally see. But now that's all changing. The flow in the upper levels is pretty much zonal. That's a west to east flow rather than going north and then south and getting those dips and dives. That's when we start to see the really nasty weather. But we're not out of the woods yet. This low is still fairly pronounced just on the northwest corner of North Dakota, and we could see some development in Minnesota later this afternoon. Right there, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a slight risk for severe weather later today. Biggest threat is going to be hail, and then we have a wind threat as well. Tornado risk is only about 2%, and it's a much smaller area, but that's what we're looking at as we head through the day today. The model's showing a lot of that development as we head into the afternoon and the evening. This is late in the evening, and we start to see some of those storms developing in the northern half of Minnesota later tonight. So I think most of the day earlier on will actually be fairly quiet. Notice not a lot of activity, but then as we get into the later hours of the day, we start to see those storms developing. As for the eastern half of the country in general, you'll notice a lot of just general thunderstorm development from Texas all the way over to West Virginia and really as far north as Minnesota, and that's because we have some hot, humid air in place for the eastern half of the country. Look at these temperatures in the 80s in the southeast, the 70s for a good portion of the Midwest and the Central Plains. This is in the morning, so things are only going to heat up from here, and a lot of moisture is available. Those dew points are in the 70s and 60s, and that is some soupy air, and as a result, we're going to see thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. We could see a few isolated cases of some severe weather, but as far as the organized threat, that's going to be stuck in northern Minnesota, and it looks like the weekend quiets down even more, so should be a good weekend, and it's the first weekend of summer. So all in all, not too bad after a really busy week. Be safe today and this weekend. I'll talk to you next time. See you then.